All right. Greetings, family. Um, Welcome to this informative video. Just to give you all a little update on something that is new in the immigration process. I felt like it was easier for me to do this video so that people can share it, just to make everybody aware of what's going on. I really like to try to make sure everybody is up to speed and informed when it comes to anything related to immigration here in Ghana. I didn't make any advance announcement. This is something that just came up as of yesterday, and information was given me today, and I got immediately up and headed to immigration to do a little investigating. And so with the information that I've received, I'm now here to pass that information on to the people. So if you would please forward the video on to others so everybody can get the information. Okay. So there was an article that came out in the newspaper yesterday. There's a new addition to the residency process, even the visa extension. So let me go over this again, because I'm still finding a lot of people who are here in Ghana on a visa and thinking that they can just stay here. Your visa does not allow you to stay. You have to get the visa to enter the country. Once you enter the country, you either have to leave after 60 days or you have to apply for residency. Okay? If you overstay beyond 60 days and you're not ready to apply for residency, then you need to do an extension. You need to go and pay for an additional 2 to 3 months. Okay, so that's the process. Now, there was an article that came out in the newspaper, and it is the cover. It is the for this video. You probably have seen it when you clicked on it. So in that article, they announced that to do an extension, to get an extension, that extension that I just mentioned, so like your 60 days are up from entering the country, you haven't applied for residency, and you want to stay longer, you have to apply for an extension, or to apply for residency or work permit. Okay, any of those types of immigration things, now there is an additional requirement of getting a COVID test, another COVID test for 150 Ghana cities. Now, when I first saw the article, I had a brother send it to me yesterday. I had several people send it to me. Like my phone was like bing, bing, bing. I was like, Sister, have you seen this? People like, Sister, have you seen this? Have you seen this? So my immediate thoughts were, well, this is just foolishness. This is, I mean, that's still my thoughts. It doesn't make sense, because you took a COVID test 72 hours before you boarded your flight. You paid $150 once for that other test that you had to take once you arrive in Ghana at the airport. So now you're here. You're living here. You're here. You're here. So I don't understand why you have to, just because you're applying for an extension or a residency permit, I don't understand the reasoning behind making people apply for, making a requirement that you got to take a COVID test. So one of the things that I wanted to know was, okay, what happens if a person tests positive when they're applying for an extension, or if they're applying for residency or work permit? What does that mean? And of course, so I had to go to the source and find out, what does that mean, so that people would know, and so that I would know. And basically, it's just money. Okay, even I'm not going to call the officer name that I talked to, one of the supervisors. I went into his office and we had a very candid talk. And the look on his face, he wasn't the decision maker. He's an employee. And he was like, it's management. I don't know the answer. That's what he told me. I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, but what can I do? If they tell me that's what people need, to have in their application packet, then that's what I have to do. And I understand his position on that. And I could tell he felt bad. Honestly, he felt some type of way about it. But in further discussing with him, I came to realize that we are not the target. It's just that we get caught up in it because they are targeting other groups. It's not us. It's not the diaspora, really. It's not us, really, that they're targeting for this type of thing. Some months ago, if y'all remember, there was an issue with this requirement for this letter from the Office of the President, Office of Diaspora Affairs, that we have to go with our residency application. And of course, I was like, why do we have to have this additional thing, that other races of people don't have to have, right? And nobody ever gave me an answer about that. Well, in talking to this officer at immigration, he gave me an answer, and okay, I understand. So what he explained to me was the other races don't get to just come the way that we do. Because we are a special class of people, okay, there has been some exceptions made for us. The other people, the Chinese, the Lebanese, and all of those people, there's only 3 ways they can come into the country. They have to be an employer, they have to have a work permit. So they have to have a business, be an employer, then they get a work permit as a business owner, or they have to be an employee, which means they get a work permit from their employer. And the work permits are $1,000 US, okay? And the employer has to fill out that paperwork and pay that money on behalf of the employee. But when you have a business, I think you do get a work permit with you registering your business. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what I read. So they have to come as an employer, meaning they have a business registered, they got a business going on. They have to be an employee, which means they got to get a work permit, or they have to be married to a Ghanaian. Those are the ways that the other people can come. He said those other people, the Chinese, the Lebanese, all those people, they can't just come like we do and say, we just want to live here. You understand? We just want to stay. We just want to come back to Africa. He said a special exception has been carved out for us to be able to do that. And that is why we have that letter from the Office of Diaspora Affairs under the initiative of the president with the year of return. So, okay, I understood that. Makes sense. He was like, because people don't have anything for anybody who says, I just want to move to Ghana and live there. But now this COVID thing is this test. When I went, so what he told me was, because I asked what the protocol was, when they have to take the test for the residency, what happens? I said, what happens if they're positive? He said, it doesn't stop anything. It doesn't stop anything. Their application is still going to be processed, okay? It's not going to, because it's just a sickness and it's just an illness that will pass. So it doesn't mean that they're going to be denied or anything like that. That's not it. But he said he didn't know the protocol once they were, from the health side. So I had to go to the clinic there at immigration and talk to them, which is what I did after I finished talking to him. I went over to the Covet little thing that got set up over there at immigration, and I asked them, okay, when people are coming through and they're applying for their residency and they test positive, what happens? Right? Because let me repeat, it's 150 Ghana cedis, which is roughly what, $60 Okay. And he did tell me that because I said that's another big expense when you have multiple family members. And he told me this is the other thing that didn't make sense to me. He said, well, only the head of the house has to take it. Everybody in the family doesn't have to take it. I was like, what? What sense does it make? Like, why? So it clearly it just, so an individual has to pay the 150 Ghana cedis. If you're a husband, a wife, and some kids, only the father, the principal person, has to take the COVID test. It's like, so what's your real purpose then? You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, so I went over there and they gave me this little brochure and I asked them, I said, okay, what is the protocol? What happens when somebody tests negative? She said, oh, we give them the little negative slip. They go back over there and they turn it in, Okay. I said, what happens when they test positive? Now, so let me read this. This is what she gave to me. It's called Ghana Immigration Services Antigen Testing for COVID-19. It says the slow turnaround time for polymerase chain reaction, PCR, the PCR test, for the detection of several acute respiration syndrome coronavirus 2, SARS-CoV-2, is insufficient to meet the demand for the more effective response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Rapid Diagnostic Test, RDT, which is not the PCR, detects the presence of viral protein antigens expressed by the COVID-19 virus in a sample from respiratory tract of a person. Antigen diagnostic tests are most useful as they can quickly inform individuals of their infection status at point of care testing. The antigen diagnostic test enables immediate decisions to be taken for patient care. Contact tracing, isolation, and treatment. Antigen testing reduces testing costs and is affordable. The antigen diagnostic test can be performed in a simple setting to the test individual with symptoms consistent with COVID-19 as quickly as possible. Results within 20 minutes for a quick turnaround. Limitations of COVID-19 antigen diagnostic testing. No test is 100% accurate. That's what they put here. Let's see if y'all can see that. No test is 100% accurate. The antigen test is less accurate than the COVID-19 PCR test. Whilst the antigen test will find the virus in most people who have symptoms, but in some cases, it may not pick up the virus. And I'm just wondering if it also gives false positives, right? Now it says, this test, this is not the PCR test, I repeat, this is an antigen test, and you get the results within 20 minutes. And the fee is 150 Ghana cedis. So, and there's some more stuff on here. I'm not going to read it all. So I asked them, what happens when the person tests positive? She said, well, they still get their little slip. They got to go take it back over to immigration. Immigration is still going to process the residency permit or the work permit or the visa extension. But you have to come back in 3 days to get tested again with a PCR test. You have to, and that one is 300 Ghana cedis. Okay. All of these things individually are not like a lot of money, but added up, they are. You understand what I'm saying? So let's see. So $120, 732 without that ID card. Okay. Then, and this doesn't sound like a lot when it's one person. But when you are a family member of 3-4 people, all of these things start to add up, right? So you got to have an ID card. Like I said, that's $120. Everybody in the family that's age 6 and older have to have the ID card. Why a 6-year-old needs an ID card, I don't know, but they have to have it. So that's $120 per person. Then there is the residency permit itself, which is 300 Ghana cedis per person, right? Which is the equivalent of about $50. So now you also got to get this PCR test, but he said only the primary. So if it's a family, a husband, mom, and children, only the husband has to get it. The principal person that's applying has to take the test, not the whole family, which doesn't make sense to me, but that's what he said. And that's another $120. 150 Ghana cedis. So what is that, like $25? And then if you test positive, you got to come back again in 3 days and take the PCR test, which is 300 Ghana cedis. So that's another $50. Now, when I went over there to the little clinic that they had, I only saw Chinese people in it. And so I began to suspect it's not us that they're really targeting, but we're getting caught up in it. You understand what I'm saying? We're getting caught up in it. And he did give me some suggestions on avenues to take to see if I can get our people exempted from that, which I'm going to follow up on. I'm not making any guarantees that I can do that, but I will take his suggestions, and follow up and see if there's something that I can do. Okay. And then if there is, I will let y'all know. But otherwise, plan to take the COVID vaccine just for an extension to stay longer. For residency permit, for work permit, plan to take it. Okay. So that's the update on that. A couple other things I wanted to bring to y'all's attention. Do not open bank accounts without residency permit. You need a residency permit. You need it. It's the law. Somebody takes you to a bank and tell you this bank will do it for you, and they might open it for you. But what is happening is they open it, they're not supposed to, and then your money is sitting there. You got money sitting there, and then they freeze your account. They freeze your account and tell you they're not going to unfreeze it until you get your residency permit. So I have people who contacted me now who got bank accounts. And see, the residency process, guys, takes a minimum of 2 months. They keep your passport to process it. So once we go through the steps to get there and get the application submitted, you're approved. But it still takes 8 weeks at minimum to process. So you won't have your passport for 8 weeks. So can you imagine you went and opened up a bank account and you got money sitting in there, and you don't have residency? I just need everybody to follow the rules. It's easy to get over here and get into a system of everybody is doing things under the table or underhandedly. And so I'm just going to do it too. It's easy to fall into that. It really is, because, it seems like everybody is doing it. But when it comes back to bite you, you know what I'm saying? And not having access to your money is sitting into a bank, and you haven't even started, your residency, and to go through having to wait to be able to get access to your money, just to get the residency. It takes 8 weeks at minimum. at the minimum, could be 9, could be 10, because they process them in the order that they receive. Okay. So now there are some people here who are getting them for people much quicker. So let me tell you something about Sister Yeah, and I'm not putting anybody down. I'm just going to tell y'all this is how I do it, because I'm doing this thing for free when I help people. Well, organization. I don't go through any back door. I don't encourage any paying of any bribes, dashing anybody to do anything extra. So that's why you can get your residency permit through me at the minimum cost, which is just what the government costs are, right? So, but there are people that charge $500, people is charging $1,000 for something that literally costs less than $200, and they can get it done for you. But they're going to go through the back door and they're going to be dashing people, and then they can get it back quicker too. They'll get it back in a week or two. If you want to spend that money and get it that way, it's on you. That's your thing. Do that. You know what I'm saying? But for those people who just want to go the regular, normal way through the front door, who don't want to be looking over their shoulder, for somebody to come back later and say you did something wrong, or you got to go, you know what I'm saying, or something like that, then you come through me and you get it done for the least possible cost, the legitimate way, through the front door, following the steps that they have outlined within the law. You will get it. You will get it if you do everything I tell you to do and bring me everything I ask you to bring. You will get it, but it does take time, and you're not going to be paying any bribes, and you're not going to be dashing anybody. So it's up to you to decide how you want to move when you get here, right? So I think that's everything that I wanted to cover. Listen, I don't come on here to entertain. I'm not about the entertainment type of thing in terms of coming on here, and I just want to keep it straight about what the work is and what we're doing here on the ground in terms of helping out. It'll always be about that. I'm not here to, that's why y'all don't see me often, because I'm not in the entertainment industry. Okay, I'm about the work and helping the people, and so when I have some information to share, I will come and share it. Okay. So I'm gonna look through the comments and see if anybody had any other question that I can answer before I close it out. Let me see. Earl, they are not forcing the vaccine on anyone. They are not. Right now in Ghana, and we are relatively, still free. We are supposed to wear masks, and every now and again, some police officers may harass you if you don't have it on. They might stop the trotro or something. Why don't you have on your mask? Something like that. But they're not forcing the vaccine on anybody right now. Okay, so if that should ever happen, then y'all might not see Sister Y'all, because that means I'm going into the bush and I'm gonna disappear on everybody because I'm not taking it. Okay, so if y'all don't hear from me, if I disappear, y'all know, because I'm not letting anybody experiment on me or my children. Okay. So Black Royal says the COVID test is a money making thing. Absolutely. It is. Let's be real. It is. It says, do vaccinated people need a COVID test also because they are spreaders? Everybody needs the COVID test. Everybody needs it. Clearly, it didn't work out the way they thought. This is why I said, you know what? I don't know why people think these these mayonnaise colorless people are so intelligent. These people are not intelligent, or they are not. They don't know what they're doing. Either they are intentionally lying to people. I don't want to get it too much because they already banned. I'm banned on Facebook for 30 days. So y'all ain't gonna see me for 30 days. They banned me. Not because of anything I said, only because I posted a video of them going around checking people's passports, vaccine passports, in somewhere in Europe. People were sitting out at a cafe, and they went around and were literally asking people to show on their phone, open their phone and show them, that they were vaccinated to be out and about. And I just posted the video, and they banned me. I didn't add any commentary. They banned me. So these are the types of things that lets me know there's some other agenda going on. It is what it is. So I have to watch even what I say now, because they might ban me on YouTube and take this down. I don't know. So, but yeah, everybody has to take it. And let's see. So everyone doesn't have to. No, the head of the family, whoever that is, the principal on the application for residency. Because when you apply as a family, only one person fills out the request for the whole family. So whoever that person is will be the one that take the test. I mean, does it make sense? If your goal is to detect coronavirus, why does one person in the family only get tested? Well, whatever. Let's see here. Benjamin. Now the quarantine, yes, they say if you test positive, you have to quarantine at home. They don't take you to quarantine somewhere. I specifically asked that question. That's why I wanted to know. So if somebody tests positive, what happens? And they said they have to quarantine. I said at their own home. I said, because these people live here. So do they get the quarantine where they live? And they say yes. So according to the people at the Covet Center where I went at immigration, you get to go home and you're supposed to quarantine there, and you come back in 3 days. And they said, and you take the PCR test. If the PCR test still says positive, you go back home to quarantine, and someone from the health authorities will be contacting you. So this sounds like contact tracing and all this stuff that's going on. Someone said to me that, those of us who were in Africa were so lucky to be here because of everything that's going on in the West. And I've said this multiple times. African leaders have a tendency to do whatever the West says, right? So whatever we see happening in the West, it is my firm belief that ultimately it will come here too. However, what we have in our favor is the infrastructure is not really in place to execute a lot of what they do in the West, right? So basically, those of us in Africa or in less developed countries have an opportunity to, get ourselves more, to get prepared to deal with it. If you want to get your homestead together and make, grow your own food and be self-sufficient and independent, you have more time to do that in less developed countries because they just don't have the infrastructure to really, enforce a lot of what they do in the West. Now, I'm going to put my little tinfoil hat on, because I know a lot of people think I'm a conspiracy theorist. And but just because I'm a conspiracy theorist doesn't mean this stuff isn't true, right? It still could be true. So I don't think it's a coincidence that all of this stuff is happening right around census time. Do y'all notice that? So last year was census, right when COVID was, and then they had to come and they got to locate everybody, get an address for everybody. They had to, identify where every single person in America was, lived, everything. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. But guess what? They're doing census in Ghana right now. I went to my land. My land is out. My husband and I have had that land more than 6 years now. And I went on the land recently. And guess who was there? The census man. Now, mind you, this land is out in the middle of nowhere. I used to complain to my husband, like, why you get this land out in the middle of if you're from the States, we call it the back 40. Meaning, wait. And I was like, it's just too far. It's too far. Until all this stuff started happening with the COVID. And then I was like, no, I'm glad we got that land all the way in the back 40, way in the middle of nowhere. Nobody would know where we are. Nobody will, confine us. We're in the middle of nowhere. Why I went to my land a couple weeks ago, the census man was there taking census, okay, in Africa, in Ghana. I was like, ain't this some shit? So they know where we are anyway, right? They know where we are anyway. You have to excuse me, my soror, and if she watching this, you know who you are. She gave me a cold the other day, so excuse me. Let me blow my nose. We went out to lunch and she was sneezing and nose running and everything. This was 2 days ago. I was fine, and now I'm the one that's got the runny nose, so I clearly got it from her. So let's see. I'm just checking through the questions. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me, because I don't have any other thing to add. I think I've told y'all everything y'all needed to know. If you have anything, ask me now while I'm here. Okay, no question. So that's the update. And like I said, share it, spread it around, let everybody know what's going on, what's going to be required. I just like to keep y'all informed, like I said. So if you have any other questions, let me put my number here on my email address. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, that's the number. It's a motorcycle, Velvet. Calm down. It's a motorcycle. Go. You want to say hello? How many of y'all remember Velvet that came from the States with us when we came last year? Come here. We had her. I posted the pictures of her in the airport with her diaper on. Say hi, Velvet. So she's an Africa dog now, though. All right, bye, madam. So you have my phone number. You have the website there. Let's see. Let me go back to the comments. Bobcat Traction. Do you require a visa? What if you have residency permit? Okay. You have to have the visa to come here. If you've never been here before, you have to get a visa. You get the visa from Ghana Immigration, Ghana Embassy in Washington, D.C., or the Ghana Consulate in New York City. So you can't even board a plane to come here without the visa. Again, but the visa only allows you to enter and stay for 60 days. It doesn't give you a right to live here. Once you enter, you have 60 days to stay legally. If you stay beyond the 60 days, you are illegal. You have to either go pay for an extension to get extra time to stay, or you need to apply for the residency to stay as a legal resident, or you have to leave and come back in and start your 60 days over again. That's how it works. Would it be advantage to get my? Well, I don't know what anybody. No matter. Okay, let me go into this. So you know how Jamaicans are visa free now. Jamaicans are visa free with Ghana. They have a bilateral agreement that Ghanaians can go to Jamaica without a visa. Jamaicans can come to Ghana without a visa. But it doesn't mean you get to stay there. You still have a certain amount of days. So even the Jamaicans who come here from Jamaica, they have a certain number of days that they get to stay here. You're still gonna get a stamp. When you come through the airport, you're gonna get a stamp. It tells you how many days you can stay in this country. Because you're not a legal resident. Just because it's visa free. Visa free means you don't have to go through the embassy to get a visa and pay for a visa to come here. That's all visa free means. But I don't know if your Barbadian passport is visa free with Ghana. I don't know that information. You would have to look that up. But even if it is, all that means is you get to get on a plane without the visa. You get here, they're still gonna stamp your passport and tell you you have a certain number of days to be here. 6 months. I don't know about that. I'm not sure if that's accurate, that anybody can come here and stay for 6 months without a visa. I don't know about that. That doesn't sound right to me. So I would say you would have to research that. But you can enter. I know with Jamaica, you can enter and you can stay for a certain number of days. It's typically 6, and then you would need to make a choice if you're going to continue to stay here, you're going to live here, and then there's a certain list of things that's required to be able to live here that you have to submit with your residency application. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I hope this was informative. Y'all take care. Like I said, any new information that comes, I will definitely keep you all informed. But for now, that's it. Y'all take it easy, family. Peace. Black power. Love you guys. Take care.